Sergei Surovikin dispersed Russian demonstrations on the eve of the collapse of the USSR. He took part in the armed conflict in Tajikistan, the Second Chechen War, and the Russian invasion of Syria. Colonel General, until recently commander of the aerospace forces, and an amateur. This is how military experts characterize the new commander of Russian troops in Ukraine.
He doesn't understand anything in the aerospace forces, since he is a general of the infantry. He graduated from a military school, and a few years ago they made him a pilot. Since he cannot equalize the situation on the front with any actions on the ground, and by the way, he did not shine with the military mind in any operation. In Syria, with the participation of infantry troops, he achieved practically nothing. He only involved aviation, which with its technology and combat application saved the situation.
And now he's trying to save Putin from shame for the defeat on the battlefield in the war against Ukraine and personal shortages. Even after the occupation of Crimea, Surovikin was involved in sending Russian troops to Donbass.
Putin went around the second circle around the reserves bench in terms of appointing commanders, from the word at all. Surovikin was assigned to separate areas when there were battles for Mariupol and for the Donetsk region, and in the Volnovakha region and further north there. But then Surovikin didn't cope and he was later dismissed.
But Surovikin received a promotion not for military prowess, but for special cruelty during military operations, like the title of Hero of Russia that he received after the war in Syria in 2017. Then aviation under the command of Surovikin bombed residential areas and hospitals.
Pressure has been growing on Putin in recent weeks from a broad range of nationalists who are asking, why don't you bomb their infrastructure, why don't you bomb Kyiv? The fact Surovikin is a savage and someone who's notorious for shooting protesters and using chemical weapons in Syria sends out a clear signal while increasing the intimidation factor. Luke March, professor of post-Soviet and comparative politics at the University of Edinburgh, in a comment to Sky News.
The appointment of Surovikin once again confirms the rumors about conflicts in the Kremlin. After all, he is considered an ally of the head of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, and the oligarch and co-owner of Wagner PMC, Yevgeny Prigozhin. They demanded an escalation of the conflict from the Kremlin and recently criticized the Russian Ministry of Defense for passiveness, thus undermining Putin's authority both among the Kremlin elites and among ordinary Russians. By appointing Surovikin, the Kremlin dictator is trying to please his critics.
He has shown his ability to wage a war that involves nuclear, biological and chemical weapons, the last of which he used in Syria. Forbes McKinsey, military analyst, in a comment to Sky News.
Sergei Surovikin is also beneficial to Putin as scapegoat when Russia's final defeat in the war against Ukraine will happen. After all, the Kremlin will certainly use the amateur general to redirect the discontent of the Russians from the good emperor to the bad landlords, as they say in Russia. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Ksenia Barvinenko, UATV News.